Chapter 12. Athena Adopts a Handkerchief. So, about 1,000,000 pages ago, I mentioned Zeus's first wife, the Titan Metis. Remember her? Neither did I. I had to go back and look. All these names, Metis, Tethys, Themis, Fetiches, I get a headache trying to keep them all straight. Anyway, here's a recap. Last week on the Real Gods of Olympus, Metis was pregnant with Zeus's child. She had a prophecy that the child would be a girl, but if Metis and Zeus had another child after it, it would be a boy who would grow up to take Zeus's place. Hearing this, Zeus did the natural thing. He panicked and swallowed his pregnant wife whole. Dun dun! What happened next? Well, immortals can't die, even when they're ingested by other immortals. So Metis gave birth to her daughter right there in Zeus's gut. Yeah, feel free to get sick now. Or you can wait, it gets worse. Metis eventually faded into pure thought, since she was the titan of the deep thought anyway. She became nothing more than a nagging voice in the back of Zeus's mind. As for her daughter, she grew up in Zeus's body the same way the earlier Olympians had grown up in Kronos' belly. Once the child was an adult, a small, super compressed, very uncomfortable adult, she started looking for a way to escape into the world. None of the options seemed good. If she erupted from Zeus's mouth, everyone would laugh at her and say that she'd been vomited. That was undignified. If she followed Zeus's digestive tract the other way, no, that was even grosser. She was a strong young goddess, so she might have been able to break out of Zeus's chest, but then everybody would think that she was one of the monsters from the Alien movies. And again, that was not the kind of entrance she was looking for. Finally, she had an idea. She dissolved into pure thought, a little trick her mother Metis had taught her, and traveled up Zeus's spinal cord straight into his brain, where she reformed. She started kicking and hammering and screaming inside of Zeus's skull, making as much racket as she could. Maybe she had a lot of room to move around in there, because Zeus's brain was so small. Don't tell him I said that, okay? As you can imagine, this gave Zeus a splitting headache. He couldn't sleep all night with the pounding in his skull. The next morning he stumbled into breakfast and tried to eat, but he kept wincing, screaming, and pounding his fork on the table, screaming, "Stop it! Stop it!" Hera and Demeter exchanged worried looks. My husband," Hera asked. "Everything okay?" "Headache!" Zeus bellowed. "Bad headache!" As if to prove his point, the Lord of the Universe slammed his face into his pancakes, which demolished the pancakes and the plate and put a crack in the table, but did nothing for his headache. Aspirin? Apollo suggested. He was the god of healing. Nice cup of tea? Hestia suggested. I could split your skull open, offered Hephaestus, the blacksmith god. Hephaestus! Hera cried. Don't talk to your father that way. What? Hephaestus demanded. Clearly he's got a problem in there. I could open up the hood and take a look, maybe relieve the pressure. Besides, he's immortal. It won't kill him. No thanks, Zeus grimaced. Suddenly red spots danced before Zeus's eyes. Pain racked his body, and a voice in his head screamed, Let me out! Let me out! Zeus fell off of his chair, writhing in agony. Cut my skull, he wailed. Get it out of me! The other gods turned pale with fear. Even Apollo froze, and he had like a dozen Boy Scout badges and first aid. Hephaestus rose from his seat. Right, I'll get my awl, which is basically an industrial strength ice pick for making holes in thick surfaces, like metal or gods' heads. The rest of you get Zeus on his throne and hold him down. The Olympians prepped for emergency brain surgery. They dragged Zeus to his throne and held him steady while Hephaestus retrieved his tools. The blacksmith god wasted no time. He marched up to Zeus, set the point of the awl in the middle of the sky god's forehead, raised his hammer, and bang! After that, they called him One-Hit Hephaestus. He used enough force to penetrate the skull without turning Zeus into a god kebab. From the awl point to the bridge of Zeus's nose, a fissure spread, just wide enough for Athena to squeeze her way out.